All right, so in today's video, let's take a look at SNDK or Sandisk and go over the chart, map out some levels, some potential buy areas, trade ideas, and just talk about whether or not Sandisk is a good buy here because it is now currently down 51, almost 52% on the monthly. So we've had a pretty massive pullback here on Sandisk, but when you do look at it, when you zoom out and you look at it from a higher time frame, it still has bullish structure here on the monthly. As long as we're above the about 520 level here, then we're still bullish on the monthly. So lower time frame market structure is definitely broken. If you go down to like the weekly and even of course the daily, like structure's broken on those time frames, but on the highest level, which is the monthly, we're still holding structure here. So this could just end up being another higher low here on Sandisk and we end up going higher, or at the very least, I think you're running into a potential area here very soon to where we could at least see a nice dead cat bounce and you could be looking at a good like 50% plus trade to the upside. So let's take a look at a couple different scenarios, map out levels on Sandisk in this video. And I did just start up this channel, so if you're looking for more kind of chart analysis type videos like this, I feel like that's really lacking on YouTube. I see a lot of fundamental videos, but I don't see as many technical videos on stocks and stuff like that. So if you like the more technical kind of content, then definitely subscribe, as I'm going to be producing a lot more content here in the coming weeks and months. All right, so getting into the chart here, the first level I just want to map out on the monthly time frame here is this gap we have. So we've got the gap right here that closes if we get down to about 778 here. I can zoom in to be a little bit more precise, but it looks like it's about 777.75 there is the level on the monthly, to where this is the only area I'd be kind of interested in blind bidding Sandisk, and you would have your stop below the low here because on the monthly time frame, the invalidation of the uptrend is if we're starting to close below 500, and the exact low here is 517. So if we're getting closes below 517, that's major cause for concern on Sandisk, because then we'd be breaking high time frame market structure, and this thing is likely going to be chopping sideways or just in a downtrend for the next couple of years. All right, so we have our two key monthly levels marked out now. So let's go down to the weekly here. So if we take a look at the weekly time frame, our first level that we want to map out here is this recent swing low. Okay, so this recent swing low here, if we can get back above it, that would be a nice sign of strength on Sandisk, because we've also got like the bearish order block right here, to where if we rally back up into this, then you could be expecting a rejection like right around this level here. And if we do go down to the daily now, technically you're not bullish until we see a break above this high right here. So this is your last high before we broke market structure. So you would need to see Sandisk back above like 1,700 in order for this thing to be bullish again. We also have a trend line that we can map out here on the daily chart. We just take this from here and then connect it like this. Let me just draw out a potential scenario. We could come back up here, okay, reject right around here, come back down. If we can make a higher low here and then come back up, break above this previous high and get a close above right here. So break above this high right here and get a close above, like on a weekly time frame. Ideally, like you can be more aggressive on a daily time frame, but if we see like a weekly close back above here, then you can look to do something like this, where you, let me just bring out my risk to reward tool here. So you would look to enter on a close here, your stop would like go below this recent low, and then you'd ideally target like new highs. If the trend is broken here and we're back like in an uptrend, then you would target back up to new highs here. So that's one scenario I can see playing out here on Sandisk. And then the other scenario is if we just continue to dump and we just don't, because there's a gap here. Like if we're broken down here, then there's really no support until this 777 level. As we can see, like if we're on the weekly here, it's just straight up. So there's no support in this area here at all. So you're either waiting for that first scenario that I drew out there, or you're just waiting for price to come down to 777. And I know that seems like crazy. That's like a massive drawdown here. What would that be? It would be like a 67% drawdown. So a pretty huge hit there. But I think if we do get that on Sandisk, then that's like a blind bid area for me. You know, it's probably not going to happen. Never say never, but if it does happen, we get down to 770, I would blind bid that, and then I would just have my stop below like 518 there, because if we don't find any sort of support in this area, we don't get any sort of bounce, then that's just a sign of massive weakness, and I just don't want to be in the stock anymore. So bounce at around this level, I would look to blind bid that. And then if we do just like, if it's just a straight dump into this level, I would be looking for a pretty massive move back up, because then we would have a massive gap like to the downside here, and you'd be looking to swing this. If you bought at 777 here, you'd be looking to swing this all the way back up for a bearish retest, which is like a 70% move back up to 1,330 here. So that would be the second scenario that I'd be looking to play on Sandisk here. All right, so overall, be patient on Sandisk right here. I wouldn't be blind bidding this area personally, because I just feel like you don't have any sort of good invalidation if you're blind bidding here. Like if you're blind bidding 1,000, then where does your stop loss go? Unless you plan on holding this to 0 and your risk is 0, then go ahead, you know, blind bid this level. But if you're bidding right here, you know, where is your risk? Where are you placing your stop? There's just no good setup that I see right here. Where we're at right now, either my first scenario plays out and then you get a stop like down below here somewhere at around like 1,000, or my second scenario plays out and you just blind bid 777 with your stop below 518. Okay, so that's gonna be it, guys. Appreciate you watching. Definitely look to subscribe if you are interested in more content like this in the future. So I will see you guys in the next video.